What do you get when you breathe old life into a new town? Well, if you're talking about the original Sims or Sims 1, you get the Unleashed expansion pack, which was easily the most popular expansion pack created for the original series. It was definitely my favorite and followed very closely by Making Magic, but definitely the Unleashed pack was the favorite. Okay, so one of the things that was amazing about it was it truly expanded the neighborhood in a way that none of the others did, in that we went from 10 lots to over 40 lots for every neighborhood. So that was amazing. Also, it gave us this beautiful New Orleans feel, which we see here in Willow Creek and also New Crest and Magnolia Promenade. So it was very natural for me to say, hey, let's rebuild Old Town. And so I want to show you what I did. Okay, so on with the show. Hi, everybody. I am Andrea, aka VioletKitty411, and we are going to explore this new save that I just created, Willow Creek, or actually Old Town. Now, one thing is we could actually adjust the bio of Willow Creek, a verdant sprawling region of lush bayous and rolling plantation land that is home to aristocratic farmers, southern gentry, and swamp dwellers. Willow Creek is a diverse blend of rich tradition, understated grandeur, and true salt-of-the-earth hospitality. Okay, well, let's go ahead and on with the show. We're going to go ahead and look at all 15 families that come with the game, with the exception of the Meshuggahs. I didn't make them, and I probably should, but I haven't made them yet. They didn't fit in here. Okay, but we're all 15 of the other families. So on with the show. So it is the first day of spring in this save, and nothing is in bloom, and most of our Sims are going to be in their winter wear because it's a pretty chilly day here in Willow Creek / Old Town. First, we're going to visit everybody's favorite, Betty and Bob. Now, Betty is neat, outgoing, creative, and amuser. Of course, we had to change ideas that, Betty had personality points. We have to change them into traits. So my idea was not to make all of the builds identical, but to kind of make them reminiscent. Sometimes they will be tile for tile, and sometimes it's just to kind of say, yeah, that's where Betty and Bob should be living right now. Actually, this one is pretty close to the original with just very slight adjustment. The bathroom is a little smaller, but here's Bob doing what Bob does, which is watch TV, because Bob is lazy and he's a bookworm, but okay. So they've got the main room, which is pretty small, but it's got everything they need. They've got a radio, a cheap TV, and some books. Little table here, cheap little sofa, although that's better than what they had. A small bathroom that's fairly decently appointed, and a nice little bedroom. They don't have a whole lot of ambition, but they know they want to have one daughter whom they will name Brandy. So this is Betty and Bob, and we love Betty and Bob. Fun side note is there was a time I was at a Walmart, and I swear I saw Betty and Bob in the parking lot at Walmart. Not gonna lie, it was great. I snapped a picture and sent it to a friend. She agreed. I saw Betty and Bob. Okay, so next hop. The next bin sim that a lot of people will play is actually this fella, Michael Batchelor. Now, I will say that a lot of people had Bella leave Mortimer for Michael, and then were just mortified, yes, I chose that word intentionally, when they found that Michael is actually Bella's brother. Bad! So bad! Okay, so Michael in The Sims 1 is actually just a brand new college graduate, but in Sims 2 he actually has passed away of old age, having married Dina Caliente, but a lot of people install him into this little tiny home, and not exactly as it appears in The Sims 1. I shaved off a few tiles so it could qualify as a small home, not a micro home, but a small home for the extra boost. But it's cute, it's cozy, and it suits his needs. It's got everything a bachelor needs, because that's what his last name is, Michael Batchelor, and Bella is his sister. However, in The Sims 2, it shows him as an elder and Bella is still alive but missing. And in Sims 3, it shows him as a teen and Bella as a child. But in The Sims 1, he is a recent college graduate and she already has a child. So there's that. Okay, continuity errors. Continuity errors, people. Just deal with it. Next up is the Roomies. Now, of course, they're also a bin family, but there is this house that is found in the main neighborhood. Oops, let's put that roof on it. And most people would install the Roomies into this house. It's very European, so this was actually made in addition to base game with Get Together because it works so well. It's so cute, so European. And while the shell is identical, instead of one bedroom, I gave it 2 bedrooms and also a second bath. So it's very cute. We've got a main living area up here, and Chris is already taking advantage of this. Also, Sims 1 don't need nearly as, or Sims 4 Sims don't need as much space as Sims 1 Sims because they can get around things. Okay, but so we've got a cute little living area up here. Nice kitchen and 2 unique bedrooms for the girls. And so that is them. Chris is a comedian at heart and Melissa's pursuing her wellness. So yeah, there's that. Okay, next up. Okay, this is everybody's favorite, the Goths. Of course, they are iconic. This is not the Sims 1 version of the Goth House. This is the Sims 2 version with my own flair. This is, of all the Goth houses, in my estimation, the most well-built by Maxis. It's the most playable, and it's kind of wonderful. But, of course, I kind of put my own spin on it and made it my own, and it looks really perfect in early spring with the dead trees. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Daisy. I did not make a new family. I just aged the existing family back, and I couldn't bring myself to delete little Alexander, so he's here as a toddler. So both Mortimer and Bella are young adults, and Alexander is a toddler. Cassandra is a child. And this is the house. Like I said, this is the Goth 2 or the Sims 2 version of the Goth House. Building it was like building an old friend for me because I've played this house so much. And of course I did make it a little different. It's not identical. The tile for tile floor plan, pretty much the same. But, you know, I gothified it a little more, made it a little more creepy, gave them a couple extra bathrooms that didn't exist in their previous. This is Cassandra's bedroom right here, yellow and green, because that's what it is. And Alexander's room is all blues. And Mortimer and Bella's bedroom is right here. Now, there are people that will say that Sims 4 is not canonical. It is. It absolutely is. You just have to pay attention to the timeline. Sims 4 is clearly set between Sims 1 and Sims 2 because Cassandra is a teenager. And the family bio, there's no personal bios, but the family bio for the Goths is that Bella has disappearances, but not a permanent one yet. So yeah, this is clearly canonical. It's before she disappears for good. So this is so we've got the first floor, we've got the main entrance, kitchen, dining room, living room. In the second floor, we've got 2 bedrooms, or we've got the master, Cassandra's, Alexander's. Up here, we've got a workroom and then a spare room for maybe a butler or somebody else that comes. I do actually have in my neighborhood and actually on the gallery, the Bella and Michael are actually siblings because I have them that way. So if you download them, you will have to put them in their respective houses and they will be siblings. So there's that. Okay, next up. Next up is the last family that ships with the original game, the Pleasants. Now, the Pleasants are iconic because they go on. We see their daughters actually in college in Sims 4. I don't because I don't have university, but I mean, they are in Sims 4. So this is the house that, again, they are a bin family, but this is the house that most people would put them in. The shell is identical tile for tile, but I gave it a very, very, I mean, I actually created a floor plan. It didn't have a floor plan to speak of. It had one room over here, one room over here, a big old bathroom, and then one major, like one room upstairs. So here I have a nice entry, a nice little hall bath, little family room, more of a formal living room over here, nice dining room, a little pass-through that can study as a library, a little studio, and a really nice kitchen. I liked green for them. This one is, I believe, base game only. Up here we have 3 bedrooms, so we've got the bedroom for Jeff and Diane and, you know, a bathroom for them, a walk-in closet, bedroom for Daniel, which is orange to kind of match his hair. That's him right there. And a desk. And then a bedroom for little Miss, oh, that's Diane who's there. Oh, all of the Sims that I created are young adult, except for the Goth seniors, whom I had to make full adult so they could be Mortimer's parents. But all of them are young adults, even if they look like elders. Okay, so this is Jennifer Pleasant's room, and I created bios for them. So we have Diane, Jeff, Jennifer, and Daniel, taking into account to what they will be, Daniel and Jennifer, when they grow up, even though we don't see Diane and Jeff again. So that's this. All right, so they have a really nice backyard pool, and there's a tree there in the middle of the swimming pool. And oh, look at Jennifer being all athletic already. Good for you. You go, Jennifer. And so yeah, that's this one. I think it turned out really particularly cute. And like I said, all of these builds are on the gallery. They all are with base game and 1 or 2 packs. I tried to keep them to 1 or 2 packs. I think this one is base game only. Next up, we're going to have 5 families that didn't ship with the game, but they were made for the original game and to be downloaded into people's games. We're starting with the Hatfields. The Hatfields were the original poor family to be found in The Sims. Their house has a lot of problems, some of which I couldn't duplicate or I didn't care to duplicate, such as they've got some bogs. They originally had an outhouse over here, which is why I gave them this little outhouse here. And their bathroom is open air. Their house is 3 bedrooms. Now, it originally ships with 3 children. I made them a teen, a child, and a toddler, respectively. And so everything is pretty basic, low-key, needs some TLC here. We've got just the most basic of stuff. And Hank, you're watching the Penguin TV. That's great. Or actually, you're Ulysses T. There's Ulysses T. We've got Ruby with her 3 kids. It even alludes to that there might be another one on the way. So if you're following the game progression, you should probably get Ruby pregnant right away. Then we've got Billy Hatfield is the oldest, Hank is the second, and it's Elizabeth Elvira, but I named her Elizabeth Eva because of game constraints. And so there's that. This is the Hatfields. They only have 126 simoleons in the bank. So good luck playing them. Not going to lie, they're going to be hard to play. But at least they have everything they need. No skills, but they have everything they need. All right. So that's them. Next up is the Jones house. Now, the Jones house is a pretty small house on a fairly large lot. Now, for the record, this is not 100% tile for tile, but close to the original build. But the shell is identical. But the lot that this small house was originally on was a lot bigger comparatively, so this isn't quite as bad. But yeah, it's a small house on a on a big lot. And it is not lost on me that his name is Edward Jones and he's in the business career. There is, of course, a financial advisory group called Edward Jones. And so I think his goal is that the phrase keeping up the Joneses with the Joneses means something once again in The Sims. They are not currently the family to keep up with, but if he has his way, they will be. So we've got for their son Bobby a small room over here. Nice little room for Edward and his lovely wife Barbara. Big open kitchen with a nice eat-in space and 2 bathrooms. It originally only shipped with 1, plus a nice little patio area. So that's that for the Jones family. They're not as well known because, of course, they didn't ship with the game, just like the Hatfields didn't. But a lot of people do know them, and they are... so like I said, Edward is in the finance career, and Barbara is a stay-at-home mom, but she'll contribute by writing books. So there's that. Okay. Next up is the Valentinos. Both Rudy, remember Rudolph Valentino, the silent film star sex symbol. He's definitely named after them. Okay, so we've got Rudy Valentino and his lovely wife Julia, and they live in this gorgeous federal style home. Obviously, I made some changes. I mean, seriously, why would I make it look just like The Sims when I can... the original Sims when I can change it into this beautiful federal style. It's gorgeous. It's actually a place I would want to live. Now the shell is almost the same, but of course I made a couple differences. Instead of having the bump out, these 2 bump outs, they're not truly bays, but these 2 bump outs here for the second floor, I just had them for the first floor. I gave it a couple dormers, and also dormers over here just to make it pretty, and gave it a back porch, very southern, very federal. Look at this gazebo. Isn't that gorgeous? It looks out over the water. The house for Sims 1, they did actually look out over the water, so that was nice that it came up this way. So yeah, let's take a look on the inside. Not much is the same because I did make it look very much different. There is a lot of pink in the original house. There's a lot of pink, and it was meant to be that way because these 2 are both very romantic. They were meant to be romance Sims, but I made them soulmates, not serial romantics. So we have a nice kitchen over here with a butler pantry, full formal dining room with a bar, a grand entranceway. Behind the grand entranceway, there's a little hall bath, and then we have a formal living room and an informal family room on the first floor. On the second floor, we have the master bedroom with an ensuite bath, and then 2 children's bedrooms with a Jack and Jill and space for 2 closets, and there's a walk-in closet. So that is the Valentinos room, and of course they do have some space for workout on the balcony, which they did in the original. And there's a little porch. Nice place. Like I said, we look out. We've got some beautiful views of Willow Creek. So there's that. That's the Valentinos. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to the next house. Okay, so next we have Chip and Buffy Snooty Patootie, and this house was pretty much completely built from the grounds up. I just had to throw out the original house. I could not build a house that was as ugly as the one that Maxis created for them. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't morally do it. I couldn't. It's still massive. It's huge. It's plenty of space. So anyway, I really wish that Sims 4 had bios, because if you could read the bios particularly for these downloadable Sims, you would understand. Because Chips goes like, "Oh, yes, my glorious self. I live off of the trust fund from Mummy and Daddy." And Buffy is like, "I just have so much to do, like ordering around the servants, junior league, bridge club. There's just so much to do." I just really wish you could see these things because they're awesome. But you can go to Sim Fandom Wiki and read these bios because they're available there. Anyway, I couldn't bring myself to do this, so I gave them, it's roughly the same size as the original, but of course it has a fairly decent floor plan. Shh, that's Daisy, whom I call Shut Up Daisy for obvious reasons. Okay, so anyway, we've got a grand entranceway, and we'll just go ahead. I eventually will learn how to do a first-person tour, but I'm not there yet. So here we have a, like a really grand entrance with a lovely staircase. To the right, we have a dining room and a kitchen. To the left, we have what could only be called a formal parlor. Downstairs, we have a completely finished but unfurnished basement, complete with servants' quarters. So this is great for the butler. This is actually available. This one right here is on my my gallery, available all by itself. The butler's quarters. Okay, then upstairs, Chip and Buffy have separate bedrooms because they're Chip and Buffy. Yeah, and if they ever reproduce, God protect the rest of Willow Creek. Okay, so this is Buffy's bedroom over here. Very pink, very feminine, with an ensuite bath, full walk-in closet. Over here, Chip's is pretty much identical, only flipped, but it's more masculine. Again, ensuite bath, full walk-in closets. We imagine that they have conjugal visits only. All right? I just really not hoping that they ever reproduce. Just saying. Please, Chip, Buffy, don't reproduce. Give all your money to charity. Please, just do it. Okay, that's all. So now of the downloadable families, I saved the best for last. This is the Maximus household. This is the only household in the entire Sims where there is a character who is actually of royal lineage. We have Her Royal Highness, Princess Zagawa Maxima. She's right here. She is actually she's pursuing the master actress. In her bio, you read that she has had suitors from across the globe, aristocrats and diplomats from all over who court her, but she decided to settle for a criminal. Jimmy Mahuizo Maxima, and they're married. He's a criminal. He's a crime overlord. Anyway, he's currently mostly harmless. I don't have him in the career, but he's meant to be a criminal mastermind. Anyway, their house I did preserve the actual shell, but it was pretty unworkable. I changed it into a home spa. If anyone deserves a home spa, it is a member of royalty. So we're going to make this one allow access only to the household, and this one also allow access only, everyone but, okay, actually this should be locked door for everyone but, let's see, let me do that. Unlock and lock door for everyone but household members, and lock door for everyone but household members. So actually, no, that will unlock. So anyway, non-household members can't get into this area over here. We've got 3 bedrooms, one of which is clearly a nursery. And then we've got a kitchen, a nice little dining room, little sitting area with a full bar. This is made with, of course, base game and spa day. They have a nice area over here, little personal meditation area over here, little pond. And all around the entire house, we have these waterfalls, and we'll make it go live for just a quick second so you can see how pretty it looks. Look at the water. Wouldn't you love living there? Look at that water flow. Okay. Now it's time to move on to the Unleashed Sims. They all come with pets. Now, first we're going to start with the Hick family, which on the gallery is the Huck family, because I couldn't upload them as Hicks because apparently that was disallowed. The name was considered offensive, even though it was chosen by Maxis. Not going to lie, that's the truth. I could not upload them as the Hicks. I had to upload them as the Hucks, but they have their nice little single wide here. Again, the house itself, the shell is correct, but I made it a little more playable by taking away a hallway. So they have a nice main room, lovely pink room here for Mama, whom I actually gave a name to, Charlie, which I actually just randomized because we wanted to keep it Charlie. And then her teenage son, Eldon, his bedroom is right here. He actually likes classical music, so I made him a musical genius. And then we've got the 3 dogs. Oh, one of them's wearing a Buster collar. Oh, no, he's not. Okay, so we have Duke, Bobo, and Leroy as the dogs. So they got 3 big dogs protecting the single wide. And that's their house, the Hicks. So yeah, like I said, the shell is the same, but I did not, and they've got quite a nice large back here, nice large side yard, and they're neighbors with the newbies. And kitty corner or across the street from the Joneses, kitty corner from the Hatfields, who are actually worse off than they are. Just saying. The Hatfields are the poorest family in the neighborhood. Yep. Okay. Next up, we have Ginny, a cat who actually is supposed to be an elder, but since elders don't exist in Sims 1, I made her as a young adult and gave her some facial details to make her an elder. And she comes with her 4 cats, Boots, Maggie, Scout, who is a male even though he's a calico. Just saying. Somebody doesn't understand cat genetics, it's almost impossible. And if you have a calico male, you can't actually breed them because they are sterile. That is a provable fact. You can check me. And Waggles. Okay, so she's got 4 cats. She is the obligatory crazy cat lady in The Sims. She's got this cute little house. I made no changes. It just fell under small home, not tiny home, but I think it fell under the guise of small home, like Michael Batchelor in the Newbies house. I tried to keep them for tiny home abilities. And so she's got a nice little kitchen here, full kitchen with everything top of the line, chess table, and everything is very Victorian, very old school. Fireplace ready to set something on fire. She has a nice little staircase that goes up to her bedroom and bathroom. Bathroom she can only access through her bedroom, so hopefully none of her guests have to pee. Otherwise, they have to walk through her bathroom to get there. So there's that. And I show you my cat, my Daisy. Yes. Tell us more about that. Okay. I live with this. Full time. Full time, I tell you. She's noisy. Although, admittedly, she's not as noisy as her predecessor, Violet. The actual Violet Kitty. Okay. Anyway, on with the show. Next, we have Claire Charming and her Springer Spaniel, Luna. And there's a quick side note. Originally in the gallery, I actually have the newbie household and the charming household on the lots opposite of where I currently have them in the game. And the reason is the newbie household is smaller than the lot that I have right now for Clara. Or for Claire, I'm going to say that. Okay, so it's Claire and Luna, not Clara. I felt like Claire needed more space in her backyard for Luna to run, because Luna is a Springer Spaniel. If you know anything about dog breeds, that is a very hyperactive dog that needs a lot of running space. So anyway, this is the house. It is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath house. I did not make any major changes to the floor plan. It is as it is. If I were to change it, I would probably change the bathroom so it was a little less weird. But otherwise I would keep it the same. I'd find a way. In previous plays when I've played it for, yes, Daisy, I know. Shut up, Daisy. Okay, we're going to hold you, and maybe that'll keep you quiet. Okay, when I've played this in The Sims 2, I usually eventually add a second floor for the people that eventually join her household. But anyway, this is Claire Charming's house. It's very cute. She is meant to be in the military, or not the military, the medical career. She is a genius. These are things that, like I said, I really wish there were bios for Sims 4, because she had a really great bio that told you that she really was a biomedical genius. She lives a very underrated life, so I really identify with Claire. So anyway, that's Claire. Next up is the Burb house. Now, the lore for the Burb house is that Brad needed to get his family away from the city because he saw that it was affecting himself and his family negatively. So he moved them out to the countryside, and his interests include weeding, watering, and soup. So I gave him an aspiration for freelance botanist. Tiffany, her aspiration is best-selling author, although you could very easily go with style influencer for that she would like to be a style influencer. And Johnny, of course, he will eventually grow up to marry Jennifer Burb, who is the girl next door. Thank you very much. Marry the girl next door. That's the way things are supposed to be. And they have Tucker, their Labrador Retriever. So we have a pretty spacious household. Now, it was ever so slightly changed in the shell, but not a great deal changed in the actual floor plan. So they have an entryway, the kitchen with a bath, and the dining room over here, living room over here, 2 bedrooms upstairs with 1 Jack and Jill bathroom. So that is, and then they have what over here. In Sims 2, I used the orchard trees. In Sims 4, they're just regular trees. And then this over here. So yes, they've got kind of a nice little farm. That's what this is meant to be, a little farmhouse for the Burbs. Now, finally, of the families, we have the Goth senior family. We've got Gunther and Cornelia. They are technically adults. I just gave them facial details to make them, and gray hair to make them look senior, but they are technically adults. They have their cats, Hecuba and Menelaus, who are litter mates. Although in my upload, I did make a mistake. I accidentally made Hecuba a male, and Menelaus was not included because he needed to be added because there wasn't enough space. I didn't have the heart to delete baby Alexander. Otherwise, there would have been space for Menelaus. But all you have to do with that is change Hecuba to a girl and then clone her, give her a Siamese brother named Menelaus and his traits and things. So she is a gardener and he has mansion baron aspirations. Now, this is one, I didn't change the actual floor plan of the home, but I changed the size. It is literally 50% the size of the original home. There was absolutely no reason to make it any bigger because it is plenty large just as it is. It's still larger than the Sims 2 house of the actual Goths. So, because every daughter-in-law wants to live right across the street from her mother-in-law. Right there. See that there? Yep. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and quickly show you this house. Okay. So we have our grand entranceway, which one could call my mind is escaping me right now. I don't know. I can't remember. Okay, I just worked a very long shift, so I'm given. So anyway, yeah, so we have a grand entranceway. Over here we have a very nice large kitchen. Good sized bathroom, nice dining room. The dining room was originally over here. That made 0 sense. It makes 0 sense to have the dining room way over here when the kitchen is here. So, foyer. This is called a foyer. In order to be a foyer, it has to have 2 stories high, and it has to have a staircase. That's like the legal definition of a foyer. So this is the foyer. And it's all purples, reds, blacks, grays, everything. So it's very gothy. So then through here we have a tiny little conservatory and a little library, little bar, because Gunther Goth has a drinking problem. Not going to lie, he does. And then, of course, we have the solarium where Cornelia can tend her garden, and she can also paint. So there's that. And then upstairs, we've got Gunther playing chess in the hallway. This is an area for the cats. In the original game, there were lots of places for them to put cat trophies. I don't think there's cat trophies. Then there's just like a little rec room up here. There's a ladder to this unused space up here in the mansard roof that I made. Okay, so it does actually have almost the same square footage. It's just that it doesn't have, it's just better designed. Everything is better designed. Plus, look at this beautiful gazebo that I put. Now, I did not put a graveyard, which should have been where this gazebo is, but because at the time that I was designing this, I couldn't find the graves, but they would go right here, and then the gazebo should go over here, but I'm actually happy with the gazebo right here. So there's that. And so, like I said, pretty much identical floor plan, just 50% the size. In order to do 50% the size, you would multiply all of your dimensions by 0.7. So you would get 0.49, which of course is 50% the size when it's in a square format. So anyway, this is, I think it turned out really pretty, and the colors are different. They're gothier, it was a red brick in the original. My goal, like I said previously, is not to be identical. It's to be reminiscent and bring it up to date into The Sims 4, because why would I have all these amazing building tools if I just duplicated it exactly as it was? Because that makes no sense to me. None whatsoever. None, no sense. Okay. Next, let's visit the community areas that I made for this. The first is Old Town Quarter. It is currently listed as a cafe, but it can be used as a bar. I made it available as a bar. It hit all of the requirements for bar. It also hit all the requirements for library. So it can be used for that. And with small adjustments, it could probably be made into a karaoke bar. But yeah, I like my venues that I made to have more than one purpose. You can change them while you are in game, while you are live, and have them suit your needs. So anyway, this is a cafe. Let's get rid of the... Okay, we have a nice little cafe here. This one, I want to say I used with pets. I made this primarily, not pets, cats and dogs. So, or actually not cats and dogs. I probably made it mostly with Get Together. Okay, so we have a nice little cafe over here. And then in this room, we have a nice little library. Over here, we have a disco, and upstairs there is a bar. Okay, and then actually a complete living area, so your Sims could technically live here indefinitely while they wanted to, if they needed to. So there's that. And you can get from building to building in the upstairs by these little bridges across between the buildings. It's very cute. The floor plan itself is the same, but I had to reorganize things to make them fit into the actual build mode, or onto the lot, which is a 20 by 30 lot. But it turned out so cute. Look at that. Isn't that cute? I think I'm very happy with it. It looks like Old Town Quarter. Very, very, very New Orleans. All right, next door to Old Town Quarter is Gothic Quarter. Of course, as the name implies, it's going to have a lot of reds and blacks. This is very jazz-oriented, like New Orleans is jazz-oriented. Willow Creek is very jazz-oriented, and Unleashed was very jazz-oriented. So there's a lot of jazz references. And, okay, I'm going to tell you something. Between you, me, and the lamppost, and everybody that watches this, all 5 of you, I hate jazz. I really do. But I respect it anyway. So very gothy, very jazzy. This counts as either a lounge or a bar. I'm pretty sure I have it coded as a lounge right now. We do have the graveyard because now I did find the graveyard after I built the Goth houses. So there's this on the bottom floor. On the top floor, there's some sleeping areas as well as kitchen areas and full baths. So they've got everything they need. So you can stay here for an extended time while you get to know people and things like this. And again, shut up, Daisy. Shut up, Daisy. Go ahead. Shut up. Okay, so there's that. And that's the Gothic Quarter. Again, meant to be a little on the creepy side, but you know, if you've actually been to New Orleans, you'd understand because it's kind of creepy. Next up, we have Hemmings Hideaway, which is considered like the best place in the Sims Hot Date to go on a date. Now, this is somewhat the same. The floor plan is identical with the exception of, I'll show you. Okay, so to fit the lot, I could not fit the whole lot on one floor. So this is the dining room, tile per tile for how it is. The bathrooms and the kitchen are slightly smaller, but the dining room is tile for tile, the same as it is in Hot Date. And then the bar, this area right here, is also the same tile per tile, but I put it on the second floor and I gave it a little wedding venue. Okay, so it's, oh, I don't know what happened right there. Okay, so this is kind of cute. It's meant for fancy fried fish. For those food lovers who fancy fried fish, blah, 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 lots of alliteration, but it's really cute. This is Hemmings Hideaway. It's a great place. This is actually coded as a restaurant. Of course, you could use it as a bar, but it is actually a restaurant with the wedding venue thrown in because you can get married in a restaurant. Why not? This was probably my favorite of the community builds. I have made this, actually I made Hemmings Hideaway in The Sims 1, or excuse me, The Sims 2. And I made Wednesdays in The Sims 2 as well. This one is just an amazing build. It's currently coded as a museum, but it can be used as a library, a bar, and with a couple very minor adjustments, it can be used as a restaurant. It is base game only, but it is, and only some slight adjustments to the actual shell. Instead, these walls were significantly longer. I made them so it looks much more accurate octagonally because the straight walls were significantly longer than the octagonal walls, which are 6 tiles each. So I made the straight walls 7 tiles each, and that made them perfect. So there's that. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, they're 7 tiles, and the straight walls are 7 tiles, the diagonals are 6. So it made them pretty much correct. I did mess with the floor plan to make it work for what it was, but this is the downstairs. There's a little library over here, restrooms, main entrance, bar, actually we're going to call that a movie theater. And up here is the museum, and it was the set for the 1987 melodrama, I Wasn't Curious. Okay. And then down here we have what could, currently is not actually a restaurant, but with some minor adjustments could be used as a restaurant, because here would be the host stand, and then of course the kitchen and a couple more restrooms over here. A nice little garden area and easy access into the park where your sim can be. It's great for a homeless sim to hang out because they can cook themselves a meal here. They can hang out, they can sleep. Of course, they can sleep in either Gothic or Old Town Quarter. And so that's a great little option. Like I said, this was probably my favorite build. We have the llamas because they're llamas. And yeah, because they're llamas. Now from here, I'm actually going to tell you that I did not rebuild MacArthur Square, which is kind of the big park in The Sims 2, because I compared it to Magnolia Blossom, and all I can assume is that they looked at MacArthur Square and said, let's make it better. It's pretty. I just left it as it is. The only thing I changed was I added an espresso machine from Get Together to Magnolia Blossom, and otherwise there's no need to visit it. And last but certainly not least, this is not even remotely related to anything from The Sims 1, but we have the Balance Wellbeing, which is a spa, gym, library, and bar. It's got 5 unique buildings. For the Welcome Center has the bar and a nice little kitchen, plus the full library and kind of communal area. Great big fish tank. There is a yoga studio over here. Over here we have places where you can get mani-pedi or sit in the salon, get a massage. This is the meditation room, and then the gym and swimming pool. And weather permitting, there can be open air yoga classes and meditation. So there's that. So like I said, this is not even remotely anything like anything found in the game, but I needed a gym and I wanted a spa, and this lot can do 4 functions. I like my community lots to be able to function as more than one thing in the event there's something I need to do. Okay, so that's my old town. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you're interested, you can download all of these from my gallery, VioletKitty411, obviously. And in the meantime, I hope you're enjoying your game. I'll see you soon in the pixelated world, and that's all I have to say. VK out.